Isang maalab at mapagpalayang araw sa ating lahat. Marapatin niyo pong kayo'y aking batiin ng maligayang buwan ng kababaihan. I am Norina Lazada, University Research Associate from the Faculty of Management and Development Studies, and I am thrilled to be part of this morning's program as your host. Welcome to our exciting discussion on creative entrepreneurship in the digital space. This insightful lecture is brought to you by the FMDS UPOU, hosted by the Associate of Arts in Digital Entrepreneurship program and in collaboration with the Continuing Education program. We are coming to you live via Zoom and are also streaming online via the UPOU networks, Facebook page, and YouTube channel of UPOU. And our discourse this morning aims to raise awareness about the opportunities in creative entrepreneurship and to identify and explore different fields where creative entrepreneurship can thrive, while also highlighting the important role that digital tools and platforms play in supporting and enhancing this creative ventures. It also aligns with our mission to integrate public service, research, and instruction embodied in our initiative, the community inclusivity, digital transformation, and acceleration towards sustainability or SIDAS. This event also supports several sustainable development goals, including decent work and economic growth or SDG 8, industry innovation and infrastructure SDG 9, and partnerships for the goals SDG 17. Now, to officially welcome everyone to today's event, let me call on our Dean, Associate Professor Fina Flor F. Taylan. Dean Fina.
Maraming salamat, Noreen, at maraming salamat at magandang umaga, magandang araw sa ating lahat. I hope I am audible from your end. So I am delighted to welcome you all in this very important webinar as part of our Let's Talk It Over series. No? So as mentioned by Noreen, creative entrepreneurship in the digital space is transforming how artists, designers, and innovators turn their ideas into thriving, sustainable businesses. The rapid evolution of digital platforms, social media, e-commerce, for example, and creative software have empowered individuals to connect with global audiences and monetize this and their talents like never before. Marami siguro sa atin nakaka-relate dito as we have been navigating our, for example, online shopping platforms. No? Guilty na ako doon isa. This digital revolution is breaking down traditional barriers, allowing creatives in fields such as digital media, graphic design, fashion, music, and content creation to build enterprises that are not confined by geography or industry norms. In the Philippines, currently, the potential for creative entrepreneurship is especially promising. No? As we all experience this, no? Napaka-rampant nito sa atin. With a rich cultural heritage and a rapidly growing digital economy, Filipino creatives have the opportunity to leverage technology to showcase their work, expand their reach, and build sustainable careers. Brought to you by the Associate of Arts in Digital Entrepreneurship, as mentioned by Noreen. It is our undergraduate program in collaboration with our Public Service Committee of the Faculty of Management and Development Studies of the University of the Philippines Open University. This Let's Talk It Over, or LTIO, is one of our forum series aligned with our public service program, which will explore how creativity can serve as a powerful driver of business growth, emphasizing practical strategies for using digital tools to maximize impact and success in the creative industry. As my final note, I'm just very concerned as well, as how we navigate our digital platforms besides economic growth and personal entrepreneurship. We hope that we are very much responsible as well in navigating these digital tools, and we don't lose the values that we hold dear, such as human rights, truth, and social justice, without, of course, balancing it with our personal and our personal advocacies. We have invited a very grounded and well-experienced speaker who can help us navigate on the creative entrepreneurship in the digital space. Let us maximize this opportunity using our digital technologies to discuss and exchange thoughts on this very relevant topic and how this can enhance our lives as innovators, entrepreneurship professionals, global citizens, and truth tellers. Thank you very much for this chance, and I hope you enjoy this opportunity to learn, unlearn, and relearn. Maraming salamat muli.
Thank you very much, Dean. So again, reiterating what Dean said, let's maximize this opportunity using our digital technologies to discuss and exchange thoughts on this very relevant topic. And of course, we have more avenues for Filipino creatives to share their skills and creativity. So before we begin our lecture this morning, may we kindly remind our attendees to start preparing your questions as you listen to the presentation. You may post your questions in the comment box or chat box of your preferred streaming platform, and it will be raised during our open forum later. Now, it is my pleasure to introduce to you our speaker this morning. So, Mr. Giancarlo De Jesus currently serves as the Chief Playmaker of Balaywari Immersive and Gamified Experiences, or Binge XP, a creative studio that designs playable experiences for education, training, theater, and tourism, historical events, among others. He was formerly an assistant professor in the Department of Agribusiness Management and Entrepreneurship of the College of Economics and Management, the University of the Philippines, Los Baños, from 2021 to 2023. He is also a recipient of the Dr. Perry Ong Conservation Arts and Collaboratua Fellowship from the Forest Foundation Philippines and University of Plymouth, respectively. He recently designed a playable experience to promote bioenergy and renewables for Aston University, UK. He also served as a guest lecturer on playable theater for the Rochester Institute of Technology, or RIT, New York. He earned his MA Applied Imagination in the Creative Industries from the University of Arts, London, with distinction through a UAL Vice Chancellor Scholarship. He is also the first Filipino to be nominated for Indicate, an annual international competition for game design in 2021. Aside from that, he is a director at the Playable Theater Project, a movement which aims to popularize immersive experiences and gamified entertainment. So Sergian is currently experiencing some health concerns, so he's conserving his voice. So for this morning, he will be presenting a video, and he will be present later during our open forum. So let us all give a big welcome and virtual applause for Mr. Giancarlo De Jesus.
Good day, everyone. Welcome to today's session on creative entrepreneurship in the digital age, navigating opportunities and challenges. My name is Giancarlo De Jesus, and I'm excited to take you through this module on how digital transformation is reshaping creative industries. Throughout this presentation, we'll explore how creative entrepreneurs can thrive in digital economy. Please feel free to take notes and engage in our discussion, so let's get started. For this session, we will provide an overview of the creative industries today, highlighting the opportunities and challenges presented by the digital age. By the end of the session, you should have a clearer understanding of how to navigate the digital creative economy. But first, let's talk about who is a creative. A creative is an individual engaged in work that involves significant problem solving, or shall we say, creative problem solving, idea generation, and innovation. Creativity spans across multiple fields, including art, science, business, healthcare, and technology. This means that creativity is not confined to traditional artists. It is a fundamental element in solving modern challenges across industries. For a more formal definition, under the Philippine Creative Industries Development Act, or Republic Act number 11904, also known as the PISIDA law, creatives are individuals or entities involved in the production of cultural, artistic, and innovative goods and services. They're also involved in the production of human creativity, skill, and talent, and operate within the various domains of the creative industries that was defined by the law. So, who's a creative? For the most part, this includes artists and artisans. They are the visual artists, performers, musicians, dancers, and traditional craftspeople. Creators, filmmakers, animators, game developers, and software creators. We have the designers, the architects, fashion designers, industrial designers, and urban planners. Content providers like broadcasters, publishers, and digital media companies. We also have creative firms. And these are businesses and organizations that operate within the creative industries. We have the creative workers, and they are the employees and freelancers working in any of the creative domains, and they're providing specialized skills like graphic design, video editing, and etc. We also have the indigenous cultural communities, or our indigenous peoples, or the IPs. And these are groups and individuals from indigenous communities engaged in preserving and promoting traditional cultural expressions and heritage. And other stakeholders are also part of the creative industries, and they're considered as creatives as well. And they are all other participants in the creative industries ecosystem, including educators, researchers, marketers, and technical support staff who facilitate the production, promotion, and distribution of creative works. This broad definition highlights the vast opportunities available for creatives in the digital economy. Now, it's interesting to note that why do we say that now is the era for the Philippine creative industries or for the Filipino creative? We're currently in a golden age for the Philippine creative industries, and several factors contribute to this. First is that number one, we are at the turning point for the creative industries in the Philippines, and this makes it the perfect time for growth. One of which is legislative support. So the Philippine Creative Industries Development Act provides funding and policy backing that has never been seen before in Philippine history. Next is we have economic potential. The industry is recognized as a key driver of development. We now have global recognition. Digital tools enable Filipino creatives to be employed and compete globally. And that is enhanced by what we call the technological advancements. So we have now available platforms. Some of these are free, like social media and e-commerce platforms that helps us expand our market reach. Now in the Philippines, we're also having what we call a cultural renaissance, and there's renewed interest in Filipino heritage and arts, not only locally but also internationally. Technology and also the law has allowed us to create a collaborative ecosystem. So we now have support networks for creatives that are growing. So we now have Filipino creatives that are either involved in informal or formal groups established by the government. And we have also organizations like the Creative Economy Council of the Philippines that has been helping or working together with the LGUs or government in navigating the complex environment or ecosystem that is, again, the creative economy. And in preparation or in order for us to be able to be competitive in this line of industry, we now have education initiatives as more schools and training programs are emerging towards and for the development of the creative or Filipino creatives. Finally, the PCIDA law or the Philippine Creative Industries Development Act was created as with a council that will have structured its growth. So not one government agencies is spearheading the creative industries, but apart from the DTI or Department of Trade and Industry, we also have the DOT, we also have the NCCA and other groups, and even the DICT that is spearheading the development of the creative industries. So it's a multi-level approach. Now, we need to understand what's happening now, not just only in the Philippines, but also in the world. So this section is now what we call understanding the digital landscape. So we need to understand what's going on and why it changes so fast, especially what we call the VUCA world. Okay, so the world is experiencing rapid and unpredictable changes, and this is now characterized as VUCA. And VUCA is an acronym which stands for volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. So to define each and every letter in the acronym, volatile means that there's rapid changes in technology and market trends. So with the rise of technology, thus it influences how people communicate, how we do business, how education is being served. So that's volatility. You have uncertainty. So there's a lot of unpredictable consumer preferences because there's a lot of options right now. So this uncertainty challenges us, especially those who are in marketing, how to be able to capture market shares. So in this case, uncertainty is another factor that forms VUCA. Letter C stands for complexity. This is because, again, we live in an multi, or transdisciplinary world, and that's the reason that the integration of multiple digital tools and platforms is necessary in order for us to be able to catch up again with this, rapid changes that is, happening around us. And ambiguity is all about data interpretation, forecasting challenges. Now, it's unlike before. It's quite easier, to capture data. The ambiguity that has been brought about by the complexity and the uncertainties, has challenged us to be able to capture data that we'll be able to use to make timely decisions. Now, in this case, by understanding VUCA, creative entrepreneurs can develop adaptive strategies to stay relevant and competitive. So that is the reason we need to stay keep abreast, and keep ourselves updated, and so that we'll be able to be competitive and to be able to navigate, this complex world. Examples of VUCA in the digital age is that for volatile, there's rapid technological advancements and shifts in consumer behavior. Uncertain, again, there's unpredictable market trends and regulatory changes. So there will be some changes in laws, and also some of the rules that used to govern business. We also have the integration for complexity, integration of multiple digital platforms and channels, and ambiguity in digital data interpretation and consumer insights. So the VUCA world presents a unique set of challenges, and it will require us innovative and adaptive strategies. And again, by understanding VUCA, it will help us, or entrepreneurs, anticipate and navigate uncertainties more effectively. Right? And so this calls for a need for entrepreneurship, or most creative entrepreneurs, to go digital, because digital transformation involves integrating technology into all aspects of business. The shift has been driven by advancement in AI, blockchain, we have augmented reality. Now, most of us are now engaged in e-commerce, online transactions. We also have a need for an increased use of data analytics, and this will guide us, especially most of the leaders or CEOs, for effective decision making. And this shift is fundamentally changing how creative businesses operate. So, digital technologies are transforming traditional business models and creating new opportunities. And embracing digital transformation is essential for staying competitive in today's market. Now, it's quite obvious that even though most of our audiences right now are really students or undergrads, that in order to succeed in the digital landscape, creative entrepreneurs must understand first the role of social media. So we have platforms like Facebook, now Meta, we have Twitter, formerly now known as X, formerly Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, that engages audiences. That's also this social media is also a platform where people transact business, people transact with a lot of things. Even in education, is being used. E-commerce is an online marketplace. Everybody knows Alibaba, Amazon, very big and huge industries right now. And we also have mobile apps for personalized experiences that enhance customer relationships. So using these digital tools and adapting as early as you can strategically drive business growth. And these tools and technology was brought about by trends, or has brought about trends like remote work, And because there's an increased adoption of remote work technologies or conferencing tools like Zoom, we have Google Meet. Uh, we now have digital payments, of course, Gcash, the most used digital payment platform in the country right now. So we have a rise of digital wallets here and there. We have Send It, PayPal has been there since time immemorial, and we even now have cryptocurrencies. And there's also the existence of cloud computing and scalability and flexibility in IT in terms of infrastructure. So this tells us that staying updated with emerging trends is crucial for leveraging digital opportunities. And that social media, mobile apps, e-commerce are key drivers of what we call the digital transformation. Now, if we have a lot of boon, there's a lot of bane, or shall I say, there's a lot of opportunities and challenges in the digital space. And there's a list of compelling ones. So for opportunities, we have, again, you can now have global reach and market expansion from the comforts of your home or your room. We have lower costs due to automation. And we now have data-driven insights that now you don't need to purchase, but as a separate tool. But for the most part, they are already embedded in the platforms that you are using right now. So again, this enhances decision making through data analytics. Where we also have innovation, and this is a continuous innovation or having this behavior or habit of innovation. Makes the companies or industries really competitive and agile. For challenges, we know that there's a lot of issues pertaining to ethics with AI. We also have cybersecurity risks. We are becoming vulnerable to data breaches and cyber attacks. Of course, they say it's a widening digital divide instead of a divide that's becoming narrower. So there's a disparity in access to digital technologies and the skills, and there's rapid technological changes. So keeping up is quite expensive. Keeping up is quite impossible. And there are also various regulatory compliance or some laws and rules that govern technology or the digital space. Like in China, I believe that they still ban Facebook or Meta in China. So there are different rules, different countries, different states. So you need to navigate these kinds of limitations. Right. So now let's talk about creative entrepreneurship because this is a mindset. This is essentially a kind of entrepreneurship wherein you're going to take advantage of some of its intrinsic behaviors or competencies. And for the most part, when we talk about creative entrepreneurship, it's really the fusion of artistic innovation plus business strategy. So imagine being an artist or being a creative, now leveraging technology and having this knack for improving or creating, coming up with original ideas. So that makes you a creative entrepreneur, and you will understand, why it's very important to have this kind of mindset and having this kind of attitude towards technology as well is going to play a great part to your success. So, since again it's a fusion of artistic innovation and business strategy, it allows individuals to turn creative talents into sustainable ventures. Okay, so gone are the days that they will tell you that there's no really money in art. Yes, there is money in art, and we're talking about money in creative entrepreneurship, not necessarily art. Because if we talk about art in a traditional sense, so we're still talking about the old traditional business models, and we'll talk about what's the difference between a traditional business model and a digital business model a little bit later. So in this case, again, Canada days, if you're really a creative like myself, from the get go when you were still young, you know that this is what you want. Now, I'm happy to say, and I'm pleased to say that, yeah, probably, most of our parents would soften up, to the idea, or would be warm to the idea that this is a viable option for a career, which I will show later as well. So it allows individuals to turn creative talents into sustainable ventures, like what I've said. And unlike traditional business models, it thrives on originality. We have storytelling and emotional engagement. So this is essential in industries like arts, design, digital media, and emerging technologies. So with the rise of digital platforms, so we, the creative entrepreneurs, can leverage social media, e-commerce, and immersive experiences to reach global audiences while maintaining flexibility and adaptability. However, balancing artistic passion with financial sustainability would always remain a challenge. So it would require you to have a strong brand and strong marketing and monetization processes. Now we will explore how you can identify opportunities, build a brand, and scale a creative business. So this will also equip you with the tools to transform your ideas into meaningful and profitable ventures, just like what I did. So if you're ready, here we go. So creative entrepreneurs, these are individuals who will create and manage ventures based on creative activities. So maybe you're a dancer, like in my case, I'm a director, I'm a writer, I was an actor. Then I was able to blend this artistic fervor with business acumen to create value and drive innovation. So I will show you an example of my experience later. So let's look at what makes a successful creative entrepreneur. Okay, first of all, you need to be innovative. They always say that you need to think outside the box. Number two, you are not going to succeed if you're not passionate in what you do. Because before you become an entrepreneur, a creative entrepreneur, you need to become an artist first, probably, or most often than not, you need to be an artist, and an artist should be passionate. Because if you're not passionate with what you do, I don't think you will have the fuel, to last. Uh, the challenges that you will face, as an entrepreneur. There will be a lot of failures. There will be a lot of setbacks. So if you're not passionate, then it will not. You will not be fueled. You will not persevere. Next is you have to be resourceful. You have to maximize. I'm sorry, available tools and networks. Next is you need to be a visionary. So you need to have this great and vivid imagination that you can imagine yourself 5 years, 10 years into the future. So you have long-term goals because if you don't have long-term goals, then you don't have direction. Next is you should be willing to experiment and take calculated risks. So being a risk taker is also part of being a good creative entrepreneur. So everything should be risk taking. As an artist, you risk with your expression. You risk every time whether your audience, your patron will like it or not, right? So yeah, this is something that should still harness. And most of all, I believe that all artists, if you begin as an artist, then you learn how to become a resilient. Like what I mentioned, there will be a lot of failures, and there's a need to bounce back from all of these challenges. Now, these characteristics define the mindset needed to thrive in the creative industry. So now, what is the role of creativity and innovation in entrepreneurship? So now let's combine them. So earlier we've been talking about innovation, talking about technology, and now we've just touched upon the characteristic of a creative entrepreneur, which is basically creativity or being passionate. So our goal in creative entrepreneurship is for us to generate new and unique ideas. Okay? So there are a lot of old ideas out there, outdated, some of them. So it includes a lot of brainstorming, a lot of imagining, a lot of lateral thinking, and the use of creativity techniques. If you're familiar with Scamper, mind mapping, design thinking, and this should lead to the development of novel products, services, and business models that would differentiate, yourself in the market. Now let us look at, the effects or what would be the result if creativity and innovation, or you use creativity, innovation, and entrepreneurship all at the same time. You can use the acronym ICE: innovation, creativity, and entrepreneurship. For you to easily remember. Because if you fuse innovation in entrepreneurship, So if creativity is about generating the ideas, innovation is about applying those ideas in meaningful ways. Now, for the most part, if you're interested in becoming a business person, then you would know that there are basically three types of innovation. The first one would be product. You develop new or improve products from its original state or from an originator. You can see that this product has to be improved and it becomes yours. Process innovation, improving business processes for efficiency. So let's say if your competitor is able to come up with product A in like 3 days, then maybe if you innovate the process, making it cheaper, making it faster, making it of better quality, then that is process innovation. And the third one is called business model innovation. This is about creating new business models or altering existing ones. You change the way how you get paid. You change the way how your product reaches the market. You change the way how you're going to offer or how you can market. So these are parts of business model innovation. So again, just a reminder, the importance is that it drives competitive advantage, helps businesses stay relevant, and can open up new markets. Now let's look at some products that have undergone innovations. So they have undergone process and product innovation and even business model innovation. And everyone's familiar with the first one, Netflix. So it's considered a master class in staying ahead of the curve. Started in 1997 as a simple DVD rental service. Here in the Philippines, we have ACA Video before Video City, if you're still familiar with them. So they mail movies straight to the customers' doors. No late fees, no hassle. But instead of just competing with Blockbuster, which is again the equivalent of Video City in the United States, Netflix saw the future before anyone else. So in 2007, they pivoted to streaming, completely changing how we watch movies and shows. Then came their next big move, original content. Like House of Cards, even Squid Game. The uber popular series is also produced by Netflix now, as well as Stranger Things. Stranger Things, they proved they were just a platform, but a full-blown entertainment powerhouse. Okay, so they innovated, from one phase to another. First, removing the physical CDs, DVDs, becoming streaming. You now have a menu. You can watch directly from your phones, and now they also produce their own content. A similar case can be said of Spotify. So back in the early 2000s, people are illegally downloading MP3s or buying individual songs on iTunes. Then they entered the industry in 2008. So it's like Netflix on-demand streaming, no downloads, no waiting, just millions of songs at your fingertips. It even outpaced the iPod, if you remember that. So instead of making people buy music, Spotify introduced the freemium model, which we're going to be talk later on. So now we have personalized playlists and AI-driven recommendations, like Discover Weekly, and this makes sure you never run out of new music to love. Right? So Spotify didn't just compete with CDs and downloads; it completely changed how we experience music. Now Airbnb is a classic story of why didn't I think of that moment. So back in 2007, two roommates in San Francisco couldn't afford their rent, so they rented out an air mattress in their apartment to make extra cash. That simple idea changed or rattled, the hospitality industry. It became a global game changer. So again, it's a very simple idea, letting people stay in someone's home instead of a hotel. So it changed everything. Instead of building hotels, so Airbnb built a community. So encourage people to rent out their rooms, encourage people to rent out their space, right? So and being just hosted in one single, you know, easy to use platform, and pretty much can be said with Grab. And everybody's familiar with Wattpad, so it's like reaching your readers directly. Not you need you the innovation. You don't really go about. You don't really have to go to a publisher to publish. So it broke down the barriers of traditional publishing, much like Etsy. So if you're a creator, you now have a marketplace. It's easy for you to easily engage yourself in a digital transformation type of thing, and that's also the same with artsy. So it's all about making the art world more accessible to everyone. It's like an online gallery, and it bridges the gap between traditional galleries, collectors, and everyday art lovers by creating a digital marketplace for discovering, buying, and selling art. Now let's talk about Filipino examples. This is Mr. Joey Ayala. So what he did was redefine Filipino music by blending traditional music with pop. So since the 1980s, he took Filipino instruments, fused them with modern folk and contemporary sounds, and the songs are poetic commentaries on social issues, environmental consciousness, and Filipino identity. And what made him a game changer is his ability to modernize Filipino music without losing its soul. Next on our list is Mr. Kenneth Covenpue from Cebu. So the idea is that before all of our appliances, all of our furniture, they're considered novelty, just made of bamboo. But who imagined that? Who would imagine that it can become a global luxury brand? So enter Mr. Kenneth Covenpue, and instead of following conventional furniture design, he revolutionized the industry by blending organic materials like rattan and bamboo with modern aesthetics, creating pieces that are both functional and sculptural. So now even Hollywood celebrities and luxury hotels, order from him. So that's what you call innovation, right? And National Artist Kidlat Tahimik for film is it's all about challenging filmmaking and embracing the true Filipino identity. So he's considered the father of independent Philippine cinema, and he rejected the Hollywood style approach to storytelling and created his own. So his films gained international recognition, and was able to prove that low budget, non traditional Filipino films could captivate a global audience. See? And finally, this is going to be for audacious plugging, but I myself, okay, it's sure example, or else I wouldn't be able to speak about what creative entrepreneurship is, innovation, uh, and if it's going to be beneficial to transform digitally. So in my case, I simply transformed theater from being something that you need to rehearse for over 2 months, 3 months, gonna cost you around six digits to produce, and you're gonna have a lot of trouble when it comes to sustainability of actors, and it's really huge business. It's really costly. So I was able to innovate and fuse video game design. I was able to fuse the idea of play or pretend play. So in that case, I was able to innovate theater, and in such a way, it is now a lot quicker to produce. It's less costly, and it's highly interactive because it's like a video game. So more about that later, as I will talk about my own experiences in a few. For now, let's talk about the business model innovation. So a while ago, I said that you need to also transform from being traditional to and transition into digital because the way we do business has completely evolved. So traditional businesses are all about physical products and services, revenue coming from one-time sales, long-term contracts. Now think of your local bakery, clothing store, or a company or a sari store that sells machines to sells items, right? Or maybe you're a company that sells machines to factories. So they rely on in-person transactions, usually require physical space and inventory to operate. Now, what about digital business models? I believe I need not really dig deep into this because you are literally everyone who's listening right now. You are crowded with people who have been working at home. You're amazed that they're getting six digits and they're not even finished with college. Some even started when they were in high school, and it's really a different ball game. All because this businesses leverage technology. First there was the computer. Next there was the internet. Now there's AI. Now there's then the social media. Then came AI. So this progression of technologies enabled us to be able to leverage these platforms to be able to sell products, service online. It gave us the ability to have a different kind of revenue model, like subscriptions. So think of Netflix and Spotify. So maybe you can think of how you can apply the business models of Netflix or Spotify into your own. And what's more, most of these businesses don't need a physical store, just a solid online presence, right? So what's the difference? Scalability. Digital businesses can reach the world instantly. Traditional ones are often limited by location. Cost-wise, digital businesses can cut overhead expenses by reducing the need for physical stores and staff. And when it comes to customer interactions, digital models make engagement faster, more personalized and data-driven. Think of chatbots, targeted ads, AI recommendations, algorithms. Bottom line, this digital shift is not only titanic, it's unstoppable. And businesses need to adapt if they want to stay relevant in today's fast moving, tech driven world. Talked about revenue models. Let's talk about now how digital products and services make money. Because there's more than one way to generate revenue online. We have a subscription model, which is all about recurring revenue. So they pay on a monthly, on a weekly. So think of Netflix or Spotify. So it's going to be a predictable income stream. Then we also have the freemium model, like what Canva does, where users get a basic version for free but have to pay for premium features whenever they need it. Or at some point, they will be encouraged to go premium. So LinkedIn also does that. So they hook users first with the free access and then offering upgrades for extra value. We also have the pay per use model. It lets customers only pay for what they use. And this is great for cloud storage services or on demand streaming rentals. We have the advertising model like YouTube, Facebook, and we also have the affiliate model. This is also very famous right now. So it's all about earning commissions if you are going to refer customers and other products to services like bloggers, linking to Amazon products, and getting a cut of every sale. So each model has its own strengths, and many businesses combine multiple models to maximize revenue. So what's the key? Find out what works best for your audience and product and build a sustainable income stream. Now that we've talked about revenue models, it's time to talk about the technology that will make you more competitive. It's very easy. Let me just say that if you implement all of these four, you have data analytics embedded in your program or in the services that you're selling, like software as a service. Then it will help companies make smarter decisions by analyzing customer behavior and market trends. Automation and AI, which take over repetitive tasks. So imagine having AI as your employee. Digital marketing, you know that there's a lot of people who already got rich from digital marketing. It ensures businesses don't just exist, but actually get VO, Facebook ads, social media engagement, so brands can reach the right audiences at the right time. And of course, our favorite, if you're a Lazada or a shopping holic, then e-commerce platforms is a business model that you can also use. So for the most part, we do this for shopping and selling. So whether you're a startup or an industry leader, leveraging these tech tools isn't just an advantage. It's actually a necessity right now. Don't you agree? And there's more good news. You can also apply the lean startup methodology. So what do I mean by this? You don't really have to start big. You don't really have to worry about capital. Because with technology, a startup approach can emphasize rapid iteration and learning through experimentation. And we call that the lean startup methodology. So just start small. You don't really have to be big or, again, like have a lot of investors to start your enterprise. You can start small and innovate along the way. Okay, so that's what's good about this truth, or having this lean model, or lean startup model or methodology. Speaking of innovation or starting small or changing along the way, you may also apply pivoting. Or pivoting is that of making a significant change to a business model based on the feedback and data that you get from your customers. So types of pivot maybe you can get. You would like to pivot your customers, changing from maybe class A to class B. You think that your customers are, you initially targeted, let's say, the rich ones, but you realize that it's a lot more convenient and it's a lot more realistic for you to target class C and D. And you can also pivot your product, making product or service changes based on what the customer needs and what the customer requested for, or what the market has now demanded. We have the revenue model pivot. You might want to change the revenue. So maybe changing from subscription based, maybe you'd like to go to freemium instead, because you realize that it's very difficult to gain customers on a subscription model in the Philippines. And as Filipinos, we're very resourceful in getting as much as possible free. We really like free things, free stuff. So let me now tell you my story on pivoting. So from my own lens, my business is all about offering theater plays to schools. Private schools have two primary needs: income generation and engaging academic activities. So our theater play serves both: fundraising opportunity where schools can sell tickets and raise funds, and this is also an instant academic program that enhances subjects like literature, history, and performing arts through experiential learning. Now we aligned our offering with these needs and created a compelling value proposition. And theater play provides financial benefits while enriching education, making it an attractive option for schools. So this structured approach ensures our product is relevant, impactful, and easy to market to educators and administrators. However, there are some challenges that we've encountered. Just like what I've said, a theater play earlier is costly. It entails a lot of high costs and effort, and we have rehearsals, budget constraints that make productions expensive and resources intensive. Additionally, there's a high risk, bullet two, due to potential actor or performer turnover, which can disrupt the continuity and quality of the production. Another major challenge is that theater plays are not easily replicable or repeatable, meaning they require fresh staging each time, unlike digital or recorded content. So this, uh, so now we encounter tight competition, as schools may prefer alternative activities like field trips and film showings, which require less effort and logistical planning. Now, speaking about pivoting or innovating, what I did was, can I pivot? Like what I mentioned, I did what I call a customer segment pivot. So in this case, theater now is pivoted as a tourism activity, and it offered fresh and immersive experiences for tourists while addressing key challenges in traditional tour guiding. Integrating performances into guided tours, tourists became more engaged, making the experience more interactive and memorable. And this shift also allows tour guides to be more relaxed and as the play takes over part of the storytelling process. This reduces the need for repetitive explanations. Additionally, the theater play serves as a novel tourism product, setting itself apart from conventional sightseeing tours. And this pivot introduces new products and offerings for tour operators and agents that made their packages more attractive and competitive. Right. So in this case, we now have some. This pivot created us more benefits rather than limitations. So we now have lower costs and effort because we don't have rehearsals, and it's not as resource intensive like before. We now have lower risks for actor and performer turnover since we're not relying on fixed repertoires or fixed stagings of our plays. So it's easy to replace actors if need be. We have scalable, replicable, and repeatable because no two experiences are the same. So since this is very interactive, video game like, we don't need to always, excuse me, we don't need to always have to fix the staging. So this allows for people to go twice, and they get a different experience all the time. And no competition. We're virtually we don't have competition as of the moment because we're the only ones doing this. Again, this is exactly the point of creative entrepreneurship. We now stand innovation is crucial for long-term growth and success. And moving on to the final segment is now that we know what's the importance of creative entrepreneurship and the importance of really integrating technology on the get go is the importance of, again, was established earlier, that it's now inevitable that we need to build a digital presence. And what's good about building digital presence right now is it's easier than ever due to the accessibility of free and affordable tools. And we also have automation and global connectivity. So social media platforms like Facebook, all of these can provide you with instant reach. You also have website builders like Wix and Shopify. It enables professional online storefronts again without technical expertise. You don't need coding. Content creation is simplified with tools like Canva for graphics, CapCut for videos, AI-powered marketing automation tools like Mailchimp. We have GPT. We have a lot. It's practically impossible to memorize all of the platforms that are available right now for you. So you might have been living under the rock for a lot of years now if you still won't adapt. Okay. Now the things that you need to consider is website design and development essentials. It has to be user centric. Again, that's why we have UX and UI. It has to be engaging, easy to navigate, and again, it's also very important that it is optimized through mobile because not every people are now into their laptops. So there's a growing number of users that it's all about smartphones and tablets, ensuring fast loading times, responsive layouts, intuitive interfaces. All of these needs are needed. In addition, you need to harmonize them to have visual appeal, and you need to have clean layouts, high quality images, and cohesive branding. Not to mention original and or let's say Creative Commons content. So that you won't have copyright issues. There's also a need for you to have call to actions with the website. And when it comes to the use of integrating social media into the website design, you need to effectively choose a platform. There needs to be planning and consistent the creation of content, and you need to build a community. And it's also inevitable right now that in order to be noticed, you really have to spend not so much, but spending is going to be a crucial part of your success. And that's why you need to spend some dollars or some pesos in your paid advertising. And that's what like what I've said. It's very important to receive feedback. That's why data analytics and insights should also be attached or integrated into your strategy. So in terms of content strategy, so this is I think it's a given, provided that you guys, probably most of you are listening right now, are doing digital entrepreneurship. So you know that strategy is very important. You need to know your audience. You need to target your audience. Quality is very important. That's why the tools that you're using, depending on the style that you're adopting, should be consistent. What are audience engagement approaches, and how do you distribute your content? Do you have a podcast? Is it within Reels? What are the things that they're using? or the platforms that are you using, or do you repurpose your content in order for you to have maximum reach? And also SEO. So yes, again, there's probably a need to spend, or if you want to learn SEO by yourself and make use of SEO, so that you'll be able to stay ahead, or become ahead. Right. So I'm going to close by just showing a couple of slides about my business and how I transformed digitally. So we used to be, of course, much like anyone else. We started in 2014. We are basically a theater group which pivoted. And our award-winning play was Katipuneros RPG. As you can see, it's already a combination of what history, and we combined video game design, and that allowed us to become a finalist and award winner in a video game design competition, an independent game design competition called Indicade, based in Boston, United States, and California in 2021. During the pandemic. So that innovation already gave us, the kind of leverage. And so from there on, we decided to create a catalog of plays. Like we saw that, hey, why not create a lineup of playable theater experiences that they could order, much like Netflix. So this ranges from being delivered online, being delivered to your house, or going to a certain location where you can experience our plays. And again, the keyword is not just watch our play, but experience our play because it's gamified. We also like what you saw in our pivot. We also not only explored place as place and education, but we also transcended that and integrated ourselves into tourism, into corporate training, and even team buildings. So now we have a dedicated web page for that, wherein you can book an experience that you want. Speaking of transition, Museum is another sub brand of our company, and we transitioned into events like weddings. We make weddings, baptisms, and debuts into more memorable experiences, storytelling experiences by blending the reception, or by making the reception into a production like a musical or a concert or a game, even. This is a platform where it's a membership platform that if you want to learn how to become a creative entrepreneur, we also have this freemium website where you can join and gain more insight and have online trainings, coachings, and mentorings from those who have undergone training themselves as creative entrepreneurs. We have a program that we sell to school, and we call that as ACAD Venture. ACAD stands for AQ, or academic, and AQ also for adversity quotient. Yeah, there you go. Adversity quotient. So not just IQ, not just EQ, but we also have AQ now that measures how a student or how a young person be able to withstand challenges. So in this case, diploma or street smarts, or in Filipino we would say diploma or discarte. Our challenge is why not both? So we created immersive experiences in order to gain both. Become academically excellent and at the same time becoming adversity resilient. And finally, we decided to sell the shovel. What do we mean by that? Since we know how to do digital transformation, then why not sell the idea or the services on how to transform digitally as well? So in this case, we created an agency called Startup Squad, and our tagline is "Get the expertise of 5 employees for just the price of one." So it means that we can provide you. If you're starting up, we can assist you by not breaking the bank. So if you don't have much capital, we can help you because just for a fraction of a price of having a full-blown staff, we can assist you in starting your business and so that you'd be able to focus on the essentials. All right. So what we do is we are an AI automation agency. So if you want to get rid of the things that you're doing repetitively, we can set up that a platform for you. Right. So closing remarks in QA. Before we open the QA, let me just wrap up by saying that creative entrepreneurship in our age right now, which is the digital age. So we explored today how creativity and business intersect in today's fast evolving landscape. We began by emphasizing how um, thrive when market driven and solution oriented is our goal. The discussion covered how digital transformation has revolutionized creative businesses, making it easier than ever to establish an online presence through websites, social media, and digital tools. We examined product and process innovation, looking at companies like Netflix, Spotify, Airbnb, Wattpad, and Etsy. And we also looked at how disruptive industries were able to solve pain points through technology and through customer focused models. And finally, moving to business model innovation, we compared traditional digital business approaches, noting how subscription models, freemium services, and affiliate marketing create new revenue streams. And finally, we explored leveraging technology for competitive advantage, highlighting how data analytics, automation, AI, digital marketing, and e commerce are essential for scaling businesses and staying competitive. Because in today's world, success hinges on adaptability, innovation, and maximizing digital tools to build sustainable, thriving creative enterprises. So thank you so much for the opportunity to share at Mabuhay.
All right. Thank you, Sir Gian. So let me just share a few takeaways from this morning talk. So now is indeed a turning point for digital creatives all over the world. And of course, the Philippines, with the presence of more collaborative systems, policies, and digital technologies that enables creatives to push forward with their endeavors, all the while navigating a VUCA world. So with the discussions on creative entrepreneurship, we have ICE, so innovation and creativity in entrepreneurship. So innovations mentioned, we all are very familiar with Netflix, Spotify, Etsy, Airbnb, Wattpad, and of course Kidlat and Himik, to name a few. Moreover, the discussion on traditional versus digital business models, the technologies for digital creatives to move ahead, like data analytics, AI, digital marketing, and of course making use of e-commerce platforms. And my personal favorite would be the lean startup methodology. So starting small and adapting as you go through, managing the product or the brand through user feedback. So kasi 'di ba, at one point in our lives, I think we have thought of starting our own businesses or brands, but may have been discouraged due to the need to have the correct amount of resources to start. So I can go on and on about my takeaways, but it will always be better to hear from our expert himself. So with that, we are now opening the floor to your questions and thoughts. So kindly raise your hand and we will acknowledge you. But please don't forget to state your name and your institution. You may also post your questions. As we have seen, marami na po tayong participants who have sent in their questions, and Sir G was able to answer them through the chat box. So raise your hand. We will acknowledge you. Post your questions in the comment box and we will read them for you. Sir Gian already has his camera open. I think let me just get the ball rolling with our first question. So, Sir Gian, how do you envision the future of digital creativity evolving, and what trends should entrepreneurs keep an eye on?
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Good. I've been recovering my voice, so that's the reason I recorded my presentation. Right. So, how do I see the digital landscape? Well, again, it presents a lot of opportunities. But let me also mention that we need to really have a lot of government support and a lot of private support in order for us to achieve that promised land, if I may say. Because when I say promised land, it has been proven already that Filipinos are very much capable of engaging in the digital space. We are very much capable of, or we have more than enough talent, as evidenced by us working, more Filipinos working in Disney, in Marvel, and all of these big, creative industries. So the talent is there. But we need support because there will come a time that the digital divide is becoming wider.
Mhm.
And with this, let me answer Hannah's question because Hannah has 4 questions. Was able to answer 3. I'd just like to reserve the second one because it talks about the implementation of the 12% VAT that was approved last year. So there's a lot of pros and cons, and let me begin with the cons here. One of the disadvantages would be the platforms and the softwares. It will become more expensive for Filipinos to purchase, to attain. Like for myself, I am subscribed to numerous platforms. I have a separate subscription for e-commerce. They have separate subscription uh, for Go High Level. If you're familiar with this, all in one platform. So there's a lot of platforms that are becoming hybrid now. But the thing is, as the marketplace is becoming more complex, there's a lot of prices that are going high. So it's not going to be a net positive for our consumers, especially for those who are using digital products and services. It's a positive for the government again because as far as I'm concerned, the main reason the PISIDA law was implemented is because for the purpose of we are going to gain taxes. We'll be able to tax the foreign companies because before foreign companies can just simply hire Filipinos and then okay the good news is that they can give us like OFW rates, but nothing really is going into the treasury of the Philippine government. So in this case, this is going to be a positive. Not so for freelancers who's not really into paying tax because there are a lot of freelancers who consider this as an advantage, but in the bigger picture, it's really a disadvantage. So yeah, I mean, the digital divide will become wider if we will not have support. But then again, it also presents us an opportunity to develop local talent.
Mhm.
So in this case, I would highly suggest for you if you're going to be a creative entrepreneur, if you're starting out, if you'd like to um, put up those digital businesses, you might want to hire Filipino talent or as Filipinos, we're typically DIY. We have a DIY culture, right? So
Mhm.
there are more than enough platforms now to do DIY to go solopreneur. So, but for the most part, in this case, I also urge the creatives to create our own softwares, to create our own digital products, so that we not just become competitive globally when it comes to providing our digital talent, but in this case, we can also serve the back end of the business. We're not just providing creative digital labor, but we will be capable of providing the digital products that foreigners can also purchase and consume. So yeah, that's my take.
Okay, thank you, Sir Gian. So I think there was a few questions that our participants may have seen. So Sir G was really able to answer, I think, three of Hannah's question. So there was also two questions from Mr. Marlon Viejo that you were able to answer. So I think we have a question from at the Zoom as well. So this is for Miss Joy Ambanlok. Is using familiar faces like influencers or actors the most effective approach for social marketing, or are there better alternatives?
Oh, I wouldn't say that this is the best, but definitely this effective. That's why businesses are more and more going into hiring or working with like collabs with influencers. Are there better alternatives? I would say, if you are a creative entrepreneur, for me, the best way is to become an influencer yourself. So, what do I mean by that? What I mean is that since creatives are in the business of creating something new, something original, something very novel, then I suggest that you go out into the digital space, you go out into the market and develop your own voice. Become the authority of whatever this is that you're trying to advocate on or you're trying to promote. Um, Collaborations will always be there. It's very easy to collaborate. So in my case, you don't really have to be an extroverted person, because there are tons of tips and tons of ways to do influencing or influence marketing by not showing your face or not lending your voice. So I would say that not really familiar faces, but there's a lot of tactics. All right. So but for me, the most organic way and the foolproof way is to develop your own voice and content.
All right, that's a very sensible answer, and I think an advice for those who are planning to um, create a novel, and of course very much okay, novel products for those who are interested. Okay, next question. So we have uh, TA Healthcare from Nestle, a Zoom chat. Oh, I specifically work for a healthcare distributor. Do you think digital marketing or entrepreneurship is the way to go, or should we stick to our traditional ones like conventions, fairs, word of mouth? Do you think being present digitally will still impact our business?
Oh yes, definitely. But the first question here is that it depends really on the market segment that we're targeting. Because if you're targeting like business to business, or if you're gonna go B2B, then your traditional kind of marketing like convention fairs, word of mouth will still be relevant. Creating events is still going to be relevant for business to business activations. But I would say that digital now is unavoidable. As Thanos would say, it's inevitable, right? So what I'm trying to point out here is that the very minimum is that you should have a website. But now I'm looking at your handle. It says Nestle. So maybe you're a big conglomerate, right? So I believe that you should. Really? Is that your name? Okay. Okay. All right. Sorry. I thought you're representing Nestle or Nido as a brand. Okay. So see, you know what? That's why being digital, being good at it, it's something that it's really necessary now. So what I'm trying to say here again is that um according to some friends, especially in the MSME or the micro, small, and medium enterprises industry, one of the main reasons the Filipino MSMEs could not really go, abroad or become exporters is the lack of websites. So as MSMEs comprise 90% of our economy, it's almost the same figure, 90%, according to them. According to them, 90% of the MSMEs don't even have a website. We're relying mostly on social media. So I would say that in order to succeed, we need to have a combination of all of these digital tools. So apart from having the social media, you should have the website, and the website can become a funnel, and the funnel can be sustained by email marketing, and so on and so forth. So it's gonna be, yeah, a traditional, a mix of traditional and digital would work. But then again, ask yourself, are you really approaching the B2B method, or are you B2C? Are you more consumer facing or business facing? So for you to be able to choose, because then again, you might be able to do the mix, but of course, marketing is going to be an expense as always. So make sure to, put your eggs where, the best baskets there should be.
Okay,
Oh,
thank
you're
you,
trying
Sir
to be
Gian.
I'm sorry, trying to be a funnel designer. Yes, a very good way to go.
Okay. So, I don't know, Mr. or Miss Nestle Nido, I hope Sir Gian was able to answer your question. So let me just go through a few questions. So, Mr. Marlon Viejo has raised like this. I think should be answered for from someone in UPOU. So, do UPOU or SUCs already have a draft or fully developed policy on leveraging of resources for creative industry and creative entrepreneurship, which may serve as framework for other private HCIs in the country? So I have requested our AADE PC to answer the question. So I think Ma'am Trisha is already online.
Yes. Narinig naman ako?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, thank you for that question. So, sa ngayon po, we do not have a policy, even a draft policy. But currently, sa UPOU, we are offering two undergraduate programs na related dito sa field na ito. One is the Associate of Arts in Digital Entrepreneurship offered by FMDS, and the other one is Associate of Arts in uh, Digital Design and Arts offered by Faculty of Information and Communication Studies. Pero maganda po yung suggestion nyo. Maganda po sanang, I think magandang upuan at pag-usapan para magkaroon po tayo ng policy regarding this kasi bago po itong parang uh, field na ito. Thank you po. I hope nasagot ko yung question niyo.
Thank you, Ma'am Trish. So we have another question from Zoom. So this is from Keith Jonas A. Levy. As a lot of people are getting more exposed to social medias to kind of get themselves entertain, shop, as well as explore what's more of the website in correlation to entrepreneurs and to future business owners such as us students, how do you think can we utilize further the use of it to garner more of our potential customers?
Well, that's gonna be great because again, it's going to be a mix as always, because number one, if you're gonna have a Facebook page, for instance, that could serve as what you will call your landing page, or it can also serve, or it can also have a landing page that is attached um to the Facebook page. So it will, form a series of interactions that is called a sales funnel. Now, the good thing about becoming more digitalized, because how can you imagine Meta? Meta is like, I imagine Meta always, in the next coming 5 years, that it will become really more 6D, 3D virtual. And technically you're purchasing not just physical products and virtual products, but also NFTs, for that matter. In this case, as more and more people are getting attuned and adapted into social media, the better for you, because if you are going to create that funnel that would attach a payment gateway, then it becomes some sort of an e-commerce. And in this case, if you are if you're going to be well versed with all of these tools, then again, like what I've said, you will not have the problems of a traditional business. To you don't need to have a physical store, don't need to have inventory. You can make use of digital business models, like if you're familiar with drop shipping, if you're familiar with affiliate marketing. This does not require upfront capital. You can literally start from zero. So that's so nice because it enables more and more people to transcend the barrier of, from becoming an employee to be and become an entrepreneur or business person. So in this case, I would say that again, as future students or no, as future business owners, my suggestion in order to utilize it further is again to practice and begin now. Okay, if I'm going to tell you one thing or an advice, may come as unsolicited, but I believe that if you are a student of open university, you have the luxury of time.
Mm.
You have time, you have the luxury of not moving from place to place, and then you have this you have this agency to have to be able to plan your schedule or your time. So in this case, I would suggest, especially those who are enrolled under the AAD, is that right? The digital entrep,
Yes, sir.
become an entrep. Because like earlier when I answered Marlon's question, I said it cannot be learned within the four walls of the classroom. It cannot be learned by any e-learning course. You need to really practice. So to the question, how do you think we can utilize it further? Then by all means, practice all of these platforms. There's a lot of free platforms there. Create your funnels, learn from YouTube, because there's a lot of things that can be learned. And obviously in your course right now, there's a lot of tools that's being taught to you in a formal setting. So in order for you to use it for potential customers, the only a foolproof way is to fail, practice, try, and then do it again. So that is the best way to go, Keith.
Thank you, Sir Gian. So I've been prompted by our floor director that we can only accommodate three more questions. So we have another one from Zoom. So this is from Amor Mueco. So has any Filipino or someone from the Philippines launched any interactive mobile games already? And if interested of creating one, can you point us where to learn how to develop games?
All right, that's interesting. Yes, since 2005, there's this very maverick or studio called Anino, and they're already they have been producing games. Now, if you are interested in becoming a game designer, um, the first thing that I would advise is, of course, you can learn a lot from free tools. You should develop a portfolio. And if I'm gonna uh, uh, where to point you, uh, there's a lot of uh, independent gaming studios in Cebu and in Manila. Right, so I just don't have it right now. In the contacts, but the president of this gaming industry in Cebu is a personal friend of mine, and I guess I could ask for some leads or some addresses or email that can be provided for you. So if you're interested, but if you are interested in creating one, then go ahead and create. There's Roblox, Minecraft, Unity. If you want to go big time, then you might want to like purchase softwares that could really teach you how to create games. And these games does not require coding. So if you want to learn games, you can do so. If you want to can create paper games, because all games start as tabletop games anyway. So everything is at your fingertips right now.
Okay, I hope nabigay po ni Sir Gian yung connection for you, and I think if possible we will give you, with his permission, his email address so you can contact him directly. So we have two more questions. So this is from Jam Priya, former FMDS student. So are there any pros and cons in being a face of a brand, like letting the social world know that you own certain businesses? Is being visible virtually always beneficial?
Oh, well, of course, there will always be pros and cons. Remember, bashing is I don't know. I mean, for me, it's still a phenomena. Like people will bash you even if you're not controversial. You will still get bashed for non-controversial ideas. For you can easily get bashed anyway. So for me, it takes a lot of guts as well to be the face of the brand. But in many cases, again, high risk, high reward. So I would say that it has a lot of pros instead of cons. Letting social world know you also the businesses. I think I would just say to answer this question, there are more pros than cons. So if you're planning to become the face of the brand, it takes a lot of guts, but it takes a lot of knowledge as well and preparation. But if you do so and you become successful, then it's easier to navigate the social world because you have your face, you have your identity, and it's yours, right? So if you're hiding behind the brand, uh, it's uh, it's still okay, but it has a lot of protection. It offers a lot of protection, but for me, having your own brand is as easy as, let's say, for example, you can just be jamtria.com. And that is something that that sometimes no need for copyright and all of these intellectual properties. It's easily manageable because it's you, and it has more credibility and authenticity. So in the social world, being you, it takes a lot of guts, but it takes a lot of creds, and having those creds, will give you more authority and authenticity.
Thank you, Sir Gian. So, as you mentioned earlier, you need to develop your own voice and push forth your advocacy if you're going to plan to like be the face of your own business. So, I think this will be our last question. But those who still have questions, you can send them to the Zoom chat box, and we will forward them to Sir Gian later. So, for our last question, we have it from Miss Kiara Saira Chavez. How is the content appetite, which usually is evident in the algorithm, be overcome by startups with lesser online visibility compared to established enterprises with investments in SEOs?
Right. Uh, First, I mentioned earlier that at a certain point, especially for marketing, especially for ads, that you would have to spend some money, right? Somehow. And I know that, of course, it's gonna be difficult for you to compete with established brands, right? With established enterprises. Okay. The key here is that number one, um, this is where brand innovation comes in. Okay, so established enterprises, and this is as evidenced by the book called The Innovator's Dilemma. The problem with established businesses is that they innovate less. It's very difficult for them to innovate, and that's where you come in. So if you're a small startup, then you come in into the market, and you come in as an alternative, and at first, and you come up as an innovation, or you package yourself as something new. So that is one way to go when it comes to becoming a content. You're becoming you're developing your identity apart from the bigger brands. That's why there are a lot of brands who are becoming known because they brush themselves against the bigger players. So in this case, if we're gonna talk about visibility, well, the key here is always going to be some expenditures. But if I may say, for content appetite, I would say that for now, for the most part, it's also cultural. So there's also we're also working at a disadvantage in this case because let's say with Korean brands, right? Netflix, they're really spending on Korean brands, and in our case, they're spending not so much when it comes to movies like Netflix, like in music, like in these cases. So I would say in terms of content, there's a lot of conversations that will go around regarding content, but it's like what I've said earlier, develop your own voice and maintain being original. And again, the call here is, again, we are creative entrepreneurs, and we need to be creative in ways more than one in order for us to be able to slay the big brands, if I may say.
Thank you, Sir Gian. So novelty is the word for today. So, of course, we have had an amazing time with all your questions and, of course, your enthusiasm. Unfortunately, we're out of time and need to wrap up this part of the program. So, huge thanks to everyone for your active participation. You have made this a great discussion. So, of course, we thank our participants for actively engaging. Now it's time to show our appreciation to our wonderful speaker by awarding the e-certificate of appreciation. So allow me to read the citation. The University of the Philippines Open University Faculty of Management and Development Studies presents the Certificate of Appreciation to Giancarlo U. De Jesus for serving as a speaker during the Let's Talk It Over series on creative entrepreneurship in the digital space held on 20 March 2025 at the University of the Philippines Open University, Los Baños, Laguna. Given this 28th day of March 2025 at UPOU, signed Finaflor F. Thailand, Dean. So thank you very much, Sir Gian. So let's give ourselves a round of applause for making it through today's program. And like all good things, our time together must come to an end. So to formally close our program, it is my pleasure to invite the program chair of the Associate of Arts in Digital Entrepreneurship Program, Assistant Professor Tisha C. Ascan. Ma'am Trish.
Yan. Magandang tanghali po sa lahat. Medyo tanghali na. So, unang-una, nagpapasalamat po ako sa ating resource person, si Sir Giancarlo De Jesus. Thank you for your time and thank you for your very inspiring, enlightening, and insightful presentation. To all those in Zoom who attended this webinar, sa mga naka-live stream sa FB and UPOU networks, thank you for your participation. Nakakatuwa po kasi napakadami natin ngayon marami po tayong attendees sa Zoom and I see some familiar names. Siyempre, yung mga AADE students, ni-require ko sila. And yung iba, yung mga galing sa continuing education program, mga previous students and as well as yung current, thank you sa inyo. No? It shows na marami talagang interested and very promising itong field na ito. So indeed, it's been inspiring to explore how creativity, innovation, and digital tools come together to open endless opportunities to creative entrepreneurs in today's online world. I hope that you have gained valuable insights that will help you navigate and thrive in the digital landscape. May this webinar inspire you to pursue creative entrepreneurship in the digital space. And as emphasized earlier, now is the time to be part of this field. We hope to see more creatives who are thriving and are taking advantage of digital technologies to reach a wider audience. Maraming salamat din po sa lahat ng mga tumulong to organize this webinar, sa buong FMDS faculty and staff, kay Dean Finaflor Thailand, sa public support staff, sa social media team, sa continuing education program, sa EMP. Thank you for your continued support sa mga ganitong initiatives. So muli, magandang umaga, magandang tanghali po sa lahat, and I wish you a creative and productive day ahead.
All right, thank you, Ma'am Trish. So with that, we reached the end of our program. So thank you very much, everyone. But before we wrap up, may we ask you to take a moment to complete our short evaluation survey, which you can access using the QR code and the link that will be flashed on the screen. So this will help us serve you better and improve our future events. So please note that e-certificates will be issued after you complete the evaluation form. Kindly allow us 5 to 10 business days after the event for processing. So on behalf of FMDS, our heartfelt thanks to everyone who joined us today, and we truly appreciate your participation. Once again, I am Noreen Alazada, and this has been the FMDS UPOU for the Let's Talk It Over on creative entrepreneurship in the digital space. Please stay tuned to our social media pages for the next session of the LTIO. So we have some exciting content coming up that you won't want to miss. So we have the KKK 44 Make Climate a Conversation scheduled on April 8 in celebration of the Worldwide Climate and Justice Education Week. So maraming salamat po and thank you once again for being with us today.
Totoo daw.
Okay, may we ask everyone po to turn on your cameras if you want to be part of the documentation or the photo opportunity. Okay. Okay po. Let's see po everyone. So we have 7 frames po. May we ask